Well, hello and welcome to Safety in the Market and our monthly update on the trades that our students are taking and that we're discussing in our coaching sessions every month. This month, we've been looking at some long trades on the gold market, and I just want to take you through a couple of setups. We've got a weekly long trade here in gold at the start of March. And what our students were looking to enter here based on the previous range and this little pullback here. Our stop loss would be underneath here. So there's our entry and there's our stop loss in case we're wrong, and we'd have a profit up here at 34.09. Okay, and we'll have a quick look at that inside. So let me head in here. Here's profit source. Here's our weekly bar charts. All right, and that's our situation as it was heading into late Feb. This down bar here sort of pricked everyone's ears up, and we had a little look and a chat about it. Then we had an inside bar, which is nice. It means we can maybe get in a bit closer to our stop loss. So if we break the top of this inside bar, we would be getting long the gold market with our stop below here, and we'd be looking to reach our profit target at some stage in the future. So there we go, we were in. Nice strong bar, so everyone happy. Another up bar the following week, and then one more. So nice strong finish there on that bar. And then that was the last week of March for us. And, a nice up bar, but with a weak finish. So we have to wait and see what happens over the next few weeks heading into April with that. But our long trade was activated. Our students were involved, and some of them have traded that long and will be hoping at some stage, maybe in April, to reach their target. If we head back inside, that was our long trade here. Now, with our daily entries, and this is where I was involved, a bit more so than the weekly entry, I was indeed short here initially and watching the market fall away. And then from that range down here, we were able to put some, bookends on our trade here where we think, right, if we come back up as we did and we get any further than that point under our rules, then that short trade is to be finished and we're starting to look for long trades. So I was watching that very carefully. We dropped away again, so I thought, okay, that didn't happen. And then as we approached back up on these daily bars, then we were looking to enter as we broke the top of these bars here. So if we head into our daily chart set up here, and these were the tops I was talking about, okay? And I think, right, if we go any further than that, then it's time to think about long trades instead of the short trades that we were in from here. So as we watch it fall away, you think, okay, it's all okay, but I would have my stop loss on top here, and I'd be looking to stop and reverse. And that's what I was talking to the students about at the time. This was a point of no return for me. If we were going to break up through there, then I believed we were going to go higher and higher. And as you can see on this day, that's where we'd broken that top. That's where I entered on that bar. Now, we were constantly talking and communicating with the students on the forum about this setup, but we're also looking at these tops here, and we were looking if we were going to break through here, we would probably break through these tops. So then students who missed out on this particular entry would look to enter into this secondary point here if we were to break up through there. And as you can see, the following day we do. So that was your first chance down here on this bar. This was your second chance on this bar, and we'll just follow the market. So some people might have been in twice or either or. I got in at the first attempt. I didn't worry about this attempt so much, but I know some students did. And then we watched that market rising. And then we also now have another possible entry for our students. Okay, so because of this retracement now, they would have an opportunity if this inside bar got broken on top and the market headed north from there, they could get in to that trade. So I'd be looking to take a secondary trade. There would be more conservative students in our ranks that wouldn't have taken these trades but are happy to get involved in the trade here if it indeed happens. And there you go, up bar, not by much, not the most positive up bar in the world, but it would have got you into that trade at that point. And then we had more students involved in this move up in gold. Okay, and as we can see, it rose up fairly sharply after that point, and then just into April, we hit our target, our profit target up here of 31.86, and that would have got all three trades out at that point for a nice profit. Our weekly trade, as we saw earlier, is still in progress at this point, but we would have closed out trade 1, trade 2, and trade 3 at this point here, which is a profit target that we've used using this range through here. Okay, so if we just head back inside and have a look at the entries, so that was entry 1 around here. Sorry if my arrows aren't pinpoint. Another entry here, and then another entry here with our profit targets up there. Okay, and obviously our stop loss is the entry 1. Our stop loss would have been under here. Entry 2, okay, if it was your second trade, you probably would have put your stop loss at break even for trade 1, so you're not adding to the risk taking a second trade. Some students would have their stop loss underneath the low of the bar. And then students who entered on trade 3 here would have their stop loss underneath that bar there. So here's our stats once more. You know, our risk, and our reward. So our reward to risk ratio there is just over 4 to 1. And we always risk 5% at the most of our account. We're just going to use a $5,000 account. We're not going to keep adding to that each month. Let's just keep that nice and steady. And that would come out at just over $1,000 profit for trade 1. We'll have a look at the same sort of figures for trade 2. It's a higher reward to risk trade this time, and we would have $1,500 profit in trade 2. And then once again, a 4 to 1 or 4.2 to 1 reward to risk on trade 3, which again would just give us over $1,000 for trade 3. So as you can see, we've made, over $3,500 on those 3 trades. Our weekly trade is still live, so I will let that play out and get back to you when that comes to culmination, whether it comes back to its stop loss or whether it reaches its profit target. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, Darren here again from Safety in the Market. I just wanted to update you on our gold weekly trade that we opened early in March last month. We finished our 3 daily trades for a profit of around $3,500, but the weekly trade was still open. So I just wanted to update you at this stage. And this was our weekly trade. We were looking to enter at the break-in of the top of this bar here, and that was at the start of March, and we had already taken you up through March to this point, and we were a little concerned about the close there on that up bar, but the trade had gone well up until that point, and we were looking for a profit target of around 34.09 on our weekly bar chart in gold. So we'll just follow that through to its conclusion. And it's given us what we would call an outside bar there with a nice strong finish going into April there, followed by a strong up bar, so that's good for everybody. And then at that point there, towards the end of April, we completed our trade because we've gone through our profit target, as you can see, and the market has pulled back down from there. So happy days for our weekly traders, and some trade daily and weekly, some one or the other, depending on their lifestyle, on how they can get to look after their trades. So that was good for our weekly gang. But while all that was happening, our students had another opportunity to enter a fourth trade on the daily charts. So I think this is where we left off at the end of March, having completed our 3 trades and found our profit target. But as the market moves on, as you can see, it falls away, but it falls away back to the top, these old tops here. We discussed this in the coaching during the month, that this was a possible opportunity where we might burst through. If you miss all the action, the market might come back and sit on top of the old tops and give you another chance to get long. Whether you were in these trades earlier or not, it would certainly give you a chance to enter the market if we've now broke above this bar. And I know a lot of students, whether they got into these trades earlier in the month or not, were happy to get onto this trade, having discussed it on the forums, etc. So we'd need a point of reference. If we were going to get into this trade, we need a profit target, and we were just going to use our weekly profit target, which was 3409, and I'll just try and move this line up to there, and let me just correct it for you quickly. 3409, and we'll lock that in. Okay, and as we can see, we get a nice outside bar there. Yes, it starts low. Yes, it breaks this low. It doesn't come back below here, and as we then go up above this bar, our entry orders would be triggered, and we would be in that trade now, our 4th daily trade. At this point, the weekly trade was still live, and we're heading deep into April. But look how good that trade's going there, and we're getting closer and closer. And then we finally hit our mark on the 21st of April. So that would be the daily trade number 4, getting to its target, and as we know, the weekly trade finding its target as well. So we'll just quickly go back inside and just show you the results for the daily trade number 4. That was nearly a 5.5 to 1 reward to risk ratio, and we've pulled up $1,362 profit there. And then our weekly trade, a few more points of risk. So we've only got a 4.76 reward to risk trade there. And that comes out at nearly $1,200 profit. So all in all, we would have recouped over $6,000 there from the 4 daily trades that we used and that 1 weekly trade on gold that we used, coming out of our March coaching, and certainly our communications on the forum helped too. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you soon for our April trades. Thank you.